Good day, students. I'm going to be presenting to you the Project Awareness Brainstorm. This is step one in Project Awareness, and it's about figuring out what you would like to write about and what is appropriate to write about for a college audience. So what I'm offering you here is this chart. I'm working on Google Docs, and what it does is it helps us sort of categorize our ideas for what we might want to write about. So I like to start with topics that interest me and then move on to current events or what's going on around me, and then topics I wish I knew more about. Remember, the focus and the goal of Project Awareness is to provide information to your reader. So this is going to be an informative essay. So you are not necessarily making an argument. You're not necessarily trying to be persuasive. However, the approach is that you will give information on a particular topic that interests you and that is important for your reader to know also. So think about that as you're coming to a decision on your final topic. But for now, we're just going to be brainstorming. So let's be honest, topics that interest me. All right, I like knitting. I love knitting. I do that as often as possible. Another topic that interests me is sustainability, especially recycling in the household. I've become really big on recycling items in my house, right? Reusing and reducing. So that's a topic that I'm interested about. I'm also interested in foster care. That's a really big topic, so I'm not sure how I would necessarily approach that. I'm also very active in the community, and I like to do work for adoption. So that's something, whoops, I need to spell it correctly. That's something that interests me. What else interests me? Well, I'm a teacher, so education, right? That definitely interests me. And especially now during COVID, right? That's kind of something that takes up a lot of my time, thinking about how to deliver education. All right, so current events or what's going on around me. Well, we have the November election coming up. That's a big one. We have the Black Lives Matter movement, and the concern about excessive use of force with African Americans primarily, and police forces around the country. All right, what else is going on now? Well, we can't avoid the elephant in the room, right? We're all dealing with COVID-19. So that's certainly something that's current and going on around me. Immigration is a very hot topic. Appointing a Supreme Court justice, that's important. That's what's going on. Justice appointment. And so that's kind of off the top of my head what I know what's going on around me. And of course, something that's been happening for quite some time now is environmental protection, right? And global warming, and reducing our ozone layer. All right, so topics I wish I knew more about. Now, this might sound kind of crazy. Why would I write about something I don't know very much about? Well, that's the goal of research, right? Research and doing proper research and thorough research can make us more knowledgeable about something we don't know very much about, but we certainly wish we knew more about. Topics I wish I knew more about is sustainability in agriculture. I've been reading some news reports on some really awesome projects that farming is engaging in, especially in Mexico, where they're building sort of indoor farming, right? Where they're done inside big tents or big greenhouses as a way to reduce environmental impact. So if you're doing sustainability farming, you're reducing the use of pesticides. You are trying to grow food, 365 days a year, year round. So sustainability in agriculture is something I wish I knew more about. I also wish I knew more about electric vehicles. I'm not a sciencey person, so what is the science behind it? Um, I use electric appliances every day, right? I know how electricity works, but I'm not really sure what electric vehicles are and how they're made, and the science sort of behind it. So I wish I knew more about that. I also wish I knew more about the planets. I don't know more um, than maybe what I learned in high school about the planets, right? The other worlds. Um, I wish I knew more about that and how our solar system, not just our planet, right, is important to us. Okay, so basically this is my brainstorm. And I'm going to go through and fill out this chart to the best of my ability and to be as honest as possible. And then I need to start thinking about, as I make my decision, I guess, what my audience might want to hear about, right? So sustainability, I think, this is something, especially in the house, right? Saving money, this might be something that people are interested in. So I'm going to change this to red. Um, I also think that maybe people need some information on how we appoint our Supreme Court justices, right? We know that because of a vacancy in the Supreme Court, that we need to fill that position, and that is a lifetime position. So whoever becomes the next Supreme Court justice has that position for life. And so maybe it's important for me as well as my audience to know how that process works, how that decision is arrived at, and whether American citizens have a voice in that. Okay, maybe I think topics that I wish I knew more about, and my audience might want to know more about, is in agriculture. So I'm going to pick these sort of three topics as maybe something that I'm going to think about for about 24 hours before I make a decision. So what I need you to do is to go to Canvas and to complete a chart similar to this. It doesn't have to be a chart, right? It could just be 1, 2, 3 topics that interest me. Number 2, current events. Number 3, topics I wish I knew more about. And you need to upload that on your Canvas so I can see what your ideas were originally. Our next step will be to select the final topic and to write a proposal statement. I want to see what you will be doing before you start your research and your writing. All right, so that's it for right now. And I will make another video for you for step 2, but this is step 1 for project awareness, the brainstorm.